Swastiastu. In the framework of having a mid-semester exam for the English Format 1 course, who taught by Professor Phil and Miss Rapita. So, in this video, I will discuss and present you about linear equation system. Before start, I would like to introduce myself. So, my name is Sellina Putri. Name 211301183 from 4D Mathematics Education. First thing is the definition of the linear equation system. A system of equation is the set of two or more linear equations involving the variables. So linear equations can be defined as the equations of the first order, and the highest power of the variable in the system is 1 because it's linear. And linear equation can have one variable, two variables, and three variables. So this is the general form of the linear equation system. It has M linear equation system with the AM1, AM2, and AMN is the coefficients of x1, x2 until xn, and the x is the variables, and b1, b2 until bn is the constant. So in the previous slide, we talked about coefficients, variables, constant, and what is those meaning? So the first thing is variables. Variables is a changer or replace a number whose value is not known with certainty. And variables are usually represented by letters such as x, y, z, a, b, c, and any other letters. The second thing is coefficient. Coefficient is a number that explains how much the same kind of variables, and coefficients are located in front of the variables. The third thing is constant. Constant is a constant number value because it is not followed by a variable behind it. So basically constant is an exactly number such as 1, 2, 3, etc. And the last thing is part. Part is the parts of an equation form consisting of coefficients, variables, and constants. So there is also the characteristic of linear equation system. The first thing is adding and subtracting the numbers of the two sides will not change the equations of value. Second, multiplication and division of the numbers of both sides does not change the value of the equation. The value of the equation does not change if both sides are added or subtracted by the same number. And if an equation is moved, addition changes to subtraction, multiplication changes to division, and vice versa. So, how to solve or how to search the solution of linear equation system? The solution itself is any set of value of x1, x2 until xn which simultaneously satisfy the system of linear equation. And if the system of equation has one or more solution, the equations are called consistent. Also, if the system of equation does not admit any solution, the equations are called inconsistent. Consider the system of equation is ax equal to b, and these equations are said to be homogeneous if b equal to 0, and non-homogeneous if b doesn't equal to 0. In the previous video, we know about the solution of linear equation system, and now how to solve the system of the linear equation, how to search the solution. So there is methods of how to solve system of linear equation. And the following methods of solving system of linear equation ax equal to b are applicable only when the coefficient matrix A is non-singular. The first one is Cramer's method. Cramer's method is a method that uses determinants to solve a system of equations that have the same number of equations as variables. This method is efficient whenever the system of equation has a unique solution. This method is the most commonly used formula for getting the solution for the given system of equations formed through matrices. The solution obtained using Cramer's rule will be in terms of the determinants of the coefficient matrix and matrices obtained from it by replacing one column with the column vector of the right-hand sides of the equation. Number 2 is inverse method. Inverse method basically used when you have a coefficient tied to a variable on one side of matrix equation. You can multiply by the coefficients inverse to make the coefficient go away and leave you with just the variables. Third is Gauss-Jordan method. The purpose of Gauss-Jordan elimination method is to use the three elementary row operations to convert a matrix into a Regis row echelon form. And the Gauss elimination method is consists of a sequence of operations performed on the corresponding matrix of coefficient. We can also use this method to estimate either of the following the rank of the given matrix. So the difference of Gauss-Jordan method and Gauss elimination method is Gauss-Jordan method convert a matrix into a Regis row echelon form to find the solution. And the last one is method of triangularization or triangularization method. Triangularization method is also known as decomposition method or the factorization method. It is a type of direct method of solving linear simultaneous equation. It is also useful for determining the inverse of matrix. So there is also methods to solve the system of linear equation in two variables. So the first one is the graphical method. Graphical method is also known as the geometric method. And in this method, the equations are designed based on the objective function and constraints. To solve the system of linear equation, this method has undergone different steps to obtain the solution. Next is substitution method. Substitution method, as the word says, in this method, the value of one variable from one equation is substituted in the other equation. And in this way, a pair of the linear equation gets transformed into one linear equation with only one variable, which can then easily be solved. Next is elimination method. So in this method, either add or subtract the equation to get the equation in one variable. If the coefficient of one of the variables are the same and the sign of the coefficient are opposite, we can add the equation to eliminate the variable. Similarly, if the coefficient of one variable are the same and the sign of the coefficients are the same, we can subtract the equation to get the equation in one variable. And the last one is cross multiplication method. So cross multiplication method, known as the simplest method, and gives the accurate value of the variables. Cross multiplication method is only applicable when we have a pair of linear equation in two variables. So I have one example of the linear equation system which we will solve the problem with graphical method. So consider two linear equations as y equal to x minus 1 and y equal to 2x plus 2. Now graph the equation is in the coordinate plane. So we found the coordinate and we have the graphic like in the slide. And from the graph, we can see the two linear equations intersect at the common point minus 3 point minus 4, which is the solution for the given system of linear equation. Hence, we can solve linear equations by plotting the graph on coordinate system in graphical method. So that's all for me. Thank you for your attention and Om Santi 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 Om.